Hello YouTube, Briar 659. I want to show you something that we found on the property. Last year we were standing around and we heard a tree fall and we didn't think anything about it. Had a storm that night and then I came up to take a look at it. I want to show you what happened. This tree, it's an oak tree. If you can get some kind of a idea of how big this oak tree is. There's my hand. It would take, I don't know if two people could wrap their arms around this tree. This tree probably 50, 75 years old, maybe older. Let me show you what brought it down. Broke off up there. I know the sun's kind of got it blinded. Let's see. Let me show you where the rest of it is, where it fell. This is the other part of the tree. This tree is hollow. It's hollow up in there. And this thing right here, this part of it, it's huge. This is at least 50 years old. Okay. I'll walk around here to the other part of it, and I'm going to show you something. This was another part of it. You can see there's oak trees all around here. You can see up in there. Let me pull up a little tighter view on there. I don't know if you can actually get an idea from the video how big this is. Maybe perfectly wrapped right. That's hollow up in there. Sun's got us putting a light on it. Kind of hard to see. Well, let me tell you what brought this tree down. It wasn't rot. It wasn't disease. It was carpenter ants. We're having a big trouble. We're having a lot of trouble with them around here. And the first time, now we know that what we need to see when you look at these trees is this. You see, they'll start growing limbs out the side, like that one right there. You'll start seeing limbs where they shouldn't be limbs. And these trees will come down too. Ants brought these trees down. Look at the size of that tree, how big it was. And they're in this tree right now. When you see those limbs growing out the side of the trunk like that, these are carpenter ants. There's probably a lot of that is hollow, so it's breaking off. Now here's the point I'm making. When this tree was healthy, I don't know if you could have it took a big bulldozer to have pushed that tree over. And I don't know how long it took. It took years and years and years. But the ants eat the middle of it out until it finally broke off. And that tree right there is hollow on the inside. That was a big, impressive tree. Probably the biggest one in this area. What's my point? Folks, this is America. This is what's happening to America. Those ants started, I bet you years, maybe 5 or 6, I don't know how many years it took. 100,000 ants kept on, and they eat that tree out. And very little wind knocked it over. We've had storms and tornadoes come through here. It didn't bother these trees. This is America. The progressives started back in the 30s and the 40s. People think this stuff coming up right now with Barack Obama, and they call this up progressive, the social movement, give everybody something, the government will take care of you. This didn't happen. They've been working on this for 50 years or more. They couldn't pull this off from the beginning, back in the 30s and the 40s. It took a long time. And this is where we're at, people. We're in bad shape because everybody wants something for nothing. You think about it while I'm walking along. This is America. That tree, compare it to America. When we were strong, nothing could blow us over, and they eat us out a little. We're hollow. We're as hollow as the Statue of Liberty. Impressive, and it was a gift from France. And it's the first thing you see when the immigrants came in, and it was impressive. That tree will be next. They're destroying this country little by little, eating out from the inside. You better wake up and see what's going on. I've done made my mind up. I will never be a Democrat. I will never be a Democrat. And I used to call myself a Republican. I'm an independent. Because they're all self-serving. So you think about this. Here we are, we're hollow. How long before our country can fall over? Now, one thing I noticed, these ants, they only kill oak trees. This is what we call a red oak. This is a huge tree. They don't bother the oaks. They don't bother the other trees. Look at that tree right there. They don't bother it. They have to pick a certain type of wood. I've never seen them do a pine tree. There's other trees around here. We've got cypress trees down here. But they found a place. Those ants found a way in through these oaks. Maybe it's just something of the characteristic about an oak tree, the reason they did it. But they'll find a way. Maybe a limb was broke off. But anytime you see these limbs growing out the side of that tree, they found a weak spot in the oak tree. And then they got in somehow. Maybe through a hole somewhere. And they started eating it. I wish you could see that tree in person, see how huge that tree is. That tree, a person could get up in there. And they're going to destroy all these oak trees. Well, what we're going to do, from now on, we're just going to cut them with firewood. I'm not going to let them rot. But pay attention, people. This is America. We were the greatest country. We still are. We were the greatest power. People either respected us for what we did, or they feared us because of what we could do. You think about what we did World War II. We went from an unprepared nation to, within a few years, building bombers, long-range bombers, and the British, the other people, could not have won without America. Now we're just a hollow tree. Wake up, people. Wake up before it's too late. Don't be one of these big oak trees. Don't sit idly by and say nothing's wrong until it's too late. I'm 59 years old. I mean, most of my life is over, but think about your kids and your grandkids. What are they going to say one day when we have fallen? Hey, why did you let this happen? I thought you cared more about me than this. Why did you stand by and let Barack Obama and those Democrats and Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid and those bunch of hacks, why did you let them destroy this country? Why didn't you just let it happen? You never taught me to vote. You never taught me to be responsible, a citizen, and do my civic duty. You know, now we're having to pick up, start over from scratch, when you could have stopped it. Once again, this is America, people. I'm comparing that oak tree to America. Like I said, it took years and years. These ants finally brought that 100 or 75-year-old oak tree to the ground. It took there's been storms through here that hadn't phased these trees. That's how they've lasted so long. Wake up, America. Briar 659, giving you something to think about. Hope you'd make a comment. Tell me what you think. If you think I'm wrong, tell me. If you agree with me, agree with me. You think there's something we can do to make it better, just let me know. And please subscribe. Y'all have a good day. God bless America.